Hey, good morning, Black Oak family. It is another edition of Breakfast with Black Oak on this Friday morning. Again, most of you know that I record this on a Thursday morning. We got to get everything approved. That's the world we live in from a compliance standpoint, making sure we're giving and relaying the right information to you. So again, I want to welcome everyone. My name is Ryan. I am president of Black Oak Asset Management. And if you're receiving this video message, you work with someone on our team, whether that's myself as your advisor, Autumn, Barnick, Nick, or Damon. So could be any one of us five. Again, it's kind of crazy to say five because 2017 it was just me. Anyway, so it's pretty cool to see the growth and the expansion when it comes to stuff like that. But couple of items to discuss. Actually, really not a whole lot. We're going to really focus on a financial content today. You can see the headlines and the subject heading of the email. What's a Roth? Basically a Roth conversion versus a backdoor Roth. One quick announcement I do have. I just did remember this. My new podcast did come out today, which is Thursday. So as you're seeing this, it came out yesterday. It's about how to create an estate plan with no regrets. And that topic, when you hear the word estate plan, you're like, oh, I don't have enough money to have an estate plan. Everybody needs to have an estate plan. It's more and more relevant in my industry as baby boomers are aging and getting older. And the more people we work with, just death is a part of life. It is, unfortunately. And we've come across it. It just seems like in the last year and a half, 2 years, we've experienced more and more of it, whether it's direct clients or clients' parents who have passed away. And just making sure your financial affairs are in order. Death is unexpected, so most of the time there is holes somewhere, and that's where we want to help you out with those holes, if you will, in your estate plan. Again, when I say estate plan, that may mean just making sure your beneficiary information is correct, making sure you have at least a simple will so you don't die intestate, which means without a will, you don't want to be at the mercy of the courts and probate, and it's just a mess. So making sure you have those things done. So listen to that podcast, and if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. We have estate planning attorneys that we refer people to because we want that to be a big part of your financial puzzle to be put together. We want us to help you with that. We want you to have a good CPA if that's needed, a good estate planning attorney, and have three of us in your corner when it comes to this estate planning stuff. So again, make sure you tune in. If you've never listened to our podcast, again, you can find it on Apple Podcast, Stitcher, Google Play, all of them. You can find it, and it's Perfect Game Retirement. You can put my name in there or Perfect Game Retirement, and you can listen to it. I think it's episode 87, maybe. So I'm getting close to the 100 mark as far as total podcasts done. So, okay, enough about that. Roth conversions versus backdoor Roth. You probably heard these terms, and you may know them inside and out. You may know what they are, but there's some similarities and there's some differences when it comes to what a Roth conversion and a backdoor Roth is. Let's start with a Roth conversion. Roth conversion is where basically we're taking money from your IRA, which is pre-tax, has not been taxed before. So you put that in a 401k or a SEP IRA or simple IRA while you were at a previous employer, and maybe you roll that money over to a rollover IRA, or maybe you just been contributing directly to a traditional IRA. That's all pre-tax, has not been taxed yet. Well, the government is going to get their tax revenue, some shape, form, or fashion. They're going to get it because if not, that's tax evasion. We don't want anyone to have that issue with the IRS. So you got to pay your tax. It's a matter of when and how much you pay. So with a Roth conversion, you're kind of controlling how much tax you're paying. So a Roth conversion is putting your hand in the pre-tax IRA cookie jar, if you will, taking money out and then putting it into a Roth IRA or converting. So that process of going from one bucket, to another, or one account to another is a Roth conversion. Now you have to pay the tax on it. You have to pay your federal tax rate. You have to pay your state tax rate. So I know I'm mentioning the word taxes in here. We're not obviously giving tax advice. We're just saying in general, that's what has to happen when you do these things. So from an IRA pre-tax that's never been touched from taxes, or the IRS hasn't touched it yet, moving it over to a Roth, that's called a Roth conversion. Right now, according to tax law, you can do any dollar amount you want. You can do $1,000 from your IRA over to your Roth, or you can do $5 million if you have that much in an IRA. You're allowed to do any dollar amount, and your income doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how much income you make. There used to be limitations on that. If you made a certain amount, you could not do a Roth conversion. So they kind of opened the spigot, if you will, from this. Because why? Because the IRS wants your tax revenue. The Treasury Department wants your tax revenue. So they've opened that up. Could that change? Absolutely. Could it change? It 100% can change. They can tighten the spigot, if you will, and limit some people on what you can do and how much you can do. So again, it's taken from a pre-tax account, rolling it over, or converting it over to a Roth IRA and paying taxes on it. Okay. Clean and simple. Excuse me. If you have any more questions, let me know. But again, it's just taxable income that you have to pay, and pay it out of your back pocket. Don't pay it on the money that goes from here to here. Okay. It works better if you just pay the tax bill, write a check to the Treasury Department if you need to. So next one is a backdoor Roth. A backdoor Roth is where you put contributions into a traditional IRA, and it's not tax deductible, which means you make too much money or you have access to a 401k. Anyone can put money into a traditional IRA. It's just whether or not it's deductible or not. Do you get to deduct it on your taxes, or do you not? So those of you who don't, so let's say you have a traditional IRA and there's no money in it, and you put the $6,500 in there and you don't get a tax deduction. Well, you have $6,500 sitting in a pre-tax account that's not pre-tax. No, that sounds confusing, but I don't want to go down a rabbit hole too far on this Breakfast with Black Oak. But once that $6,500 goes into a traditional IRA that's not deductible, then you can turn around, right around, and backdoor it. So we open the back door of the Roth, and that money goes right in, and there's no taxes, no penalties to do that. That's called a backdoor Roth. Now, backdoor is not written anywhere in the IRS tax code. That's just a nickname. So if you listen to Dave Ramsey and people like that, they mention this backdoor Roth all the time. So it is a possibility. It is not for everyone, but that's a conversation we need to have individually with each of you. So you could do one or the other. Backdoor Roths are kind of difficult to do. If you already have a traditional IRA with money in it, it becomes a little bit of a tax nightmare. And I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole, but there's tax ramifications to. It's not as clean and easy. If you have zero in a traditional IRA, you put the $6,500 in that's not deductible, and then immediately the next day move that money to a Roth, you can do it. Again, conversation for more detail later if you want to have that with us. But so there's a little bit of differences between the two. Conversion, that's just money that's already sitting there that's never been taxed. You can convert as much as you want from your traditional to your Roth. A backdoor is putting money into a traditional IRA and then immediately putting it into your Roth, and you don't pay any taxes and penalties to do that. So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully it wasn't trying to condense it down as much as I can, so this video is not too long, but hopefully that makes sense. If you have questions, again, that's what we're here for. But we just want to introduce some concepts to you that have kind of come up in conversations here at the office. So we want to relay that information to you as well. Hope everyone has an awesome weekend. Again, another great weekend of college football coming up for most of you. Weather looks like it's turning a little bit, so I'm excited about that. And everyone have a great weekend, and we'll chat again next Friday. Be good.